This is the HAPPYRUN Electric Bike. When I first saw this bike in person, I was struck by how bold it looks. The frame gives off a mini motorcycle vibe, especially with those huge 20 by 4-inch tires and the dual suspension setup. It's solid, definitely on the heavier side, but right away you can tell it's built for real riding, not just casual spins around the block. From my experience, the first thing that stands out is comfort. The dual suspension does an awesome job of soaking up bumps, whether I'm cruising through the city or testing it out off-road. The fat tires are a big help too, making the bike feel stable, whether I'm on loose gravel, sandy trails, or standard pavement. Honestly, I was a bit unsure at first. Sometimes bigger tires look cool but ride clunky. That's not the case here. They roll smoothly, and with the suspension, this e-bike feels more like a little electric motorcycle. Key features that really matter to me are power and battery life. The motor's officially rated at 750 watt, but it can peak at 1500 watts, or even 2000 watts in some bursts, which just means it's got plenty of push for hills or picking up speed. I live in an area with some steep inclines, and this thing never felt like it was struggling. I used the pure electric mode a lot, where you can just thumb the throttle and let the motor do all the work. But pedal assist is there too, if you want a bit of exercise or need to squeeze more miles from the battery. If you're new to electric bikes, pedal assist means the motor gives you extra boost when you pedal, which makes riding feel lighter and easier. The top speed is advertised at 32 miles per hour, which is pretty accurate. I usually hit around 30 miles per hour on flat roads, which honestly feels fast enough for bike paths or city streets. With the removable 48V 18Ah battery, HAPPYRUN claims you'll get 60 plus miles per charge on the lowest pedal assist setting. In my experience, I tend to get about 40 miles, but that's because I'm often using the throttle and riding at higher speeds, plus some off-roading. Battery range always depends on things like rider weight, hills, and what assist level you use. But I think 40 miles for typical riding is actually pretty solid. When it comes to design, this bike is a crowd pleaser. The retro frame, the big tires, and the digital display all look sharp. I like the wide handlebars. It makes steering really natural and easy, especially when maneuvering at lower speeds or navigating parking lots or trails. The seat is padded and reasonably comfortable. For longer rides, I do wish it was a bit softer, but it hasn't been a deal breaker for me. I'm about 6 feet tall and feel like the fit is just right, but shorter riders might want to check the seat height and frame size first. Setting up was fairly straightforward. It comes 90% pre-assembled, so I only had to put on the front wheel, handlebars, and pedals. It took me about 45 minutes, and though the instructions could be better, I managed without too much fuss. If you're not used to bikes, you might want a second pair of hands or check out a video guide. Mechanical disc brakes are standard, and mine needed a bit of adjusting. If you haven't done this before, there are plenty of tutorials online. Once dialed in, the brakes are responsive, a huge plus for safety, especially at higher speeds. I use this bike for more than just fun. It's my go-to for quick trips to the store, lazy evening rides down to the beach, or even hitting a dirt trail just for a change of scenery. It feels reliable, and the sturdy build makes me pretty confident it can handle the wear and tear from regular riding. The digital display is easy to read, showing my speed, battery, and which assist mode I'm in. I also like having a set of Shimano gears, which means if I ever run out of battery or just feel like pedaling, it rides like a normal bike with smooth shifting. Security is something I think about, especially since this e-bike really gets noticed when parked outside. The battery is removable, so when I lock the bike up, I just pop it out and carry it with me. That makes the bike much less tempting to steal. It can't be ridden away easily. The frame and battery both feel sturdy. So far, I haven't had any sketchy experiences, but I'd still recommend always locking it up and taking the battery if you're leaving it in public. At about 95 pounds, HAPPYRUN is definitely heavier than a regular bike. If you live in a walk-up or need to carry it upstairs, that can be a challenge. But the trade-off is the power and comfort you get when riding. The only real downside I've run into is loading it into my car's trunk for longer trips. It takes a bit of muscle and space. But for everyday riding, or if you just lock it at home, it's no big deal. Another thing to mention for anyone new to e-bikes is the maintenance. Regularly check tire pressure and keep the bike clean, especially after off-road rides. The battery can be fully recharged in about 5 to 6 hours, which I find convenient. I usually just pop the battery out and charge it overnight. Everything on the bike feels pretty sturdy, and after weeks of riding, nothing's come loose or shown signs of wear. From my experience, This e-bike is perfect for anyone looking for a commuter that's also fun for weekend rides, or honestly, anyone who wants their bike to stand out. The price is fair for what you get. Real power, long battery life, solid build, and a look that turns heads. If you're thinking about going electric but want something with more muscle and comfort than a basic city bike, I'd recommend this for sure. In conclusion, my quick review of the HAPPYRUN Electric Bike for adults is that it proves you don't need to spend a fortune to get a great mix of speed, comfort, and versatility. It's not the lightest e-bike out there, but in my opinion, the fat tires and suspension make it worth it if you want to ride on all types of terrain. As a daily rider, I genuinely enjoy it, and it's become something I look forward to using, instead of just a way to get around. If you're considering going electric for the first time or upgrading from a smaller e-bike, this is definitely worth a look. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more quick reviews and updates on cool gear. Thank you for watching.